Hi everybody, welcome to Celtic Griffon channel. Today we're going to explore SmartRace. I was in a live stream with Conquest Racing Club and Marty Ford of Lines Racing and I think it's Rahul, Carrera, and Jorge from Area 51 Raceway. They were discussing some details on SmartRace, and something that came up in the live discussion is the championship mode, and I felt it might be a good idea just to go through some of the options with SmartRace and how to use the championship mode feature. So today I've just made a simple oval. My kitchen's pretty small, so we usually race our club at a condo facility where we have a lot of space. So we're going to go through. I've got the 6 controllers set up, so we can go through that. I've got 6 cars kind of set up here. They're all DTM Carrera cars, and let's get started. So when you are in SmartRace, the first thing when you load it up is it comes to the screen. It may or may not start free practice mode depending on how you have it set up. So we are just going to quickly go into the main menu, and I'm just going to go into the controller assignments and just make sure that that nothing's assigned here. So it looks like I've got a few things. As you notice here, so I've got colors to all of the controllers. So one is red, the second controller is yellow, then blue, then green, then gray, and then black. And it corresponds with the tops of the controllers on these stock Carrera controllers. So I'm just going to save these. All right. And we are going to open the championship mode. Before we do, I'm just going to go into the track here, and this is the track we're going to use. So it's a good idea to set up your track before you start a championship, if you want, especially if you want to keep control of statistics in SmartRace. We do have probably some track records here. So I did some testing on this before, and nothing. I guess this is take 2 here. So here's some of the cars that ran earlier on it. When you set up a track, one thing that's really important is that if there's a minimum lap time, you may want to set that maximum lap time, and you'll do that mostly for penalties. If sometimes there's glitches in the matrix where your car will go past the start line really fast twice, maybe the car went through and then maybe somebody picked it up and put it behind, so you could count 2 laps. So you can set penalties and stuff like that. For this tiny track, however, we're not going to set any penalties or anything like that. So this is the track we'll be using here. Okay. So to get started, and notice that just to show you here, here's the controller colors, and they correspond with what we have on the track itself here. Okay, so we're going to go into championship mode now. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new name for whatever championship it is, and we'll just go test oval, and I'm going to put this exchange mode, and we'll see why for a minute here. Now the different modes that are available are there's a normal mode. So what normal, we'll explain normal mode I think last year. Normal mode is if you have a championship and you know kind of you've already prearranged the races or the rules or whatever. If you want to have full control over how to handle the championship, you would go into normal mode. The next thing that's here is this exchange depreciated, and that is for any. It's like an older design that the designer of SmartRace. His name's Mark. I think it's Bonzel. He's in Germany, I believe, and I just love this program. But the exchange mode is for anybody who's got kind of legacy kind of championships that they haven't completed. But so for now, if you're new to SmartRace, the different modes that you would use, I'm going to close this here because, well, I'll pick normal, and I'll just see if I can get this. There we go, that's better. So we've got normal, and then we've got the new exchange. Now, why would you want to do an exchange mode? An exchange mode is where every driver has to drive every car at least once. So let's say you have 4 cars set up, and maybe those cars are all pretty balanced, so they're pretty evenly matched. You can if you use this exchange new as the format of the race, every person would kind of go through those 4 cars, or maybe it's 6 cars or whatever. It doesn't matter if you have 12 people, they would rotate through those cars. And in this case, I believe that it will switch the controllers a little bit, but the most important thing is you've got a fixed amount of cars. You want to make sure everybody races that car. The next thing is a serial race, and in the serial race, it's about the controllers. So it's not about the cars. So maybe you have driver stations set up at different locations on the track. That would be a good chance to use the serial race. Maybe a controller is glitching, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe this problem with a lot of these Carrera controllers is this pit switch or lane switch. There's a little fine kind of mechanical piece of wire that kind of breaks quite often on them. So maybe you got something that's not working properly, so maybe that's a disadvantage. But that's when you want to use serial race. The party mode is when all drivers are going to race against each other. So let's say you've got a party, let's say you got 14 people, and you want everybody to go head-to-head against every other player once. In the party mode, it doesn't allow you to do controller assignments. So you kind of, maybe you just, and it's always 2 cars, it's always heads up. So party mode is short little races where maybe everybody's using the same cars over and over and over again. Okay, or maybe everybody's bringing their own car. Okay, anyways, we're going to go back and we're going to start off, and we'll start with the exchange mode. Okay, now the next important thing, so you're going to select a mode first of all, and then you're going to go to absolved race detection. And what this means is there's 2 options. You can do by order. That means that you have to complete the races in the order that's assigned. If if everybody's going to be sticking around, nobody's leaving for the full race event, by order is a good way to do it. If you're doing it over multiple days or something, you may want to choose by assignment, because then you can go out of order. Maybe somebody's going to show up at your track tomorrow, they're going to do their race, and then the day after somebody else will. So we'll choose by order. Now the one thing is, by assignment it gives you the maneuverability, but the by order doesn't. You have to do it in the order that it's given. Okay. Next, there's 2 point systems. There's a classic point system where the winner will get 10 points, second place will get 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then that's like an old style. It may be IndyCar. Maybe IndyCar always uses 100 points. I can't remember, and then there's a modern system which has a greater disparity in points between the first 10 spots. Okay, we'll just use modern for these examples, but of course you could change that. The next thing is you can assign points for the fastest lap, and you can also assign points for the pole position. So I don't know if the pole position is the person with the most laps or the fastest time. We can test that maybe a little bit. So we're not, for this first race, we won't give any extra points for fastest lap. So I was gonna just label everything, red controller, red car, for example. But I thought I'd kind of do this as an homage to some of my favorite channels. Now these are not an exhaustive list. I kind of pulled it together quickly. So if you're a slot car channel and I didn't put you on here, sorry about that. So anyways, let's start, and I'll just do it in alphabetical order. So in the first race, we're going to do we'll do maybe 4 cars for this first race. Okay, and we're going to do Area 51, and then we'll do Boone Slot Car Garage, and then we'll do Conquest Racing Club. And it's a little bit tricky without my mouse here, because I'm kind of using my keypad. And then we'll do Garage Slot Cars next. So we've got 4 drivers set up. Okay, and remember we're in the mode is really important here. So we're in the exchange mode. So every driver is going to drive each car at least once. Okay, so even though we have 4 drivers, we're going to select, this time, we're only going to select 3 cars. Okay, so let's say we've just got 3 equally balanced cars, but we've got 4 drivers. Okay, so here's the cars we'll use. We'll use Audi number 1. So Audi will be that car there. And I said 3 cars, I believe. And then we'll use another Audi. These are all DTM cars from Carrera. So those 2 are DTM. And then let's use whatever's next on the list here. Oops. go here, the next type of DTM car I have. We will use this one here, this yellow BMW. So here's the lineup for this first exchange race. Okay, right. Next thing we have to choose the number of controllers. I'm going to choose 2 controllers. Now again, it can be whichever controllers you have, but it doesn't have to be in this order. Like, you can choose, and they're set. You notice when it's kind of orange here or yellow, that means that that controller is in use. So I could use controller number 6 and controller number 1. Okay, so you can choose the amount of controllers you got. So again, just to recap, we've got 4 racers, and we've got 3 cars, and I think we can do it with 2 controllers. Let's just see if it lets me do it. Okay, it did. Okay, so now we'll go to this, and we'll go to, it should have generated a list of races now. Okay, so with this configuration, we have to do 6 races. So remember, each driver is going to race each car once. So in the first race, Area 51 has the black Audi. The next time Area 51 races is in race 3, and he'll have the yellow BMW. And the last race he does is going to be the orange car. So you notice how we've got every car, every driver is going to race each car once, okay? And remember, because we absolved it, we've said that we're going to do it in the order of things here. Okay, so let's get set up here. So on controller number 1, we're going to have the black Audi. So we have to next program our car. Now if your control panel shows these 5 dots, just hit the escape key, or the pace car function. Okay, that'll take you there. And again, we'll put the black Audi here. So remember, black Audi's got to be on controller number 1. So I'll just hit code and go like that. We'll just do a quick lap to make sure that it works. It does. Okay, and then Boone's Slot Car Garage for this race is going to be the yellow, and that's going to be on controller 6. So again, the other way you can program, this is a trick, most people know about it if you have Carrera, but maybe you don't. You double click the lane change, lift it up quick, the lights have to be flashing, and then you click it twice more, and then if it stops, it should let you program it again. Okay, so we've got both cars, and we'll be using these 2 controllers for all of our races. All right, so let's go for it. So we are going to go apply assignments next, and what the apply assignments does on the SmartRace is it just sets up the cars in SmartRace, but it does not wire them into the Carrera programming. Okay, so you have to program the cars and also do the apply assignments on SmartRace. So what does that apply assignments do? We're going to get out of this, and we're going to go to the controller assignments, and you can see now that Area 51 is on the red controller, and Boone's Slot Car Garage is on the yellow, is on the black controller. The other thing that you can do is, oh, it looks like it's got the 2 cars already set up, so that's set up good. I don't need to save anything because everything's perfect there. Okay, so we can go back to the championship. It will not wreck anything. We're going to double click that again. We're going to go back to list of races. We've already applied the assignments, so we don't need to do that. But the one thing that we should do before each race is just quickly check your speed. We're at speed 3. Let's go just to speed 5, and I'll press start. Let's just quickly check our brakes. We are at speed 3 brakes, so not a lot of brake right now, so that's fine by me. And then you would also check your fuel, but just for I press start to lock it in. We're not using fuel because I don't have a pit lane kind of hooked up. So the next thing we can do is we can go start race. Okay, then it goes into the race parameter screen once you do that. So you can have weather. I've just got the weather turned off because these are just going to be small races. we get penalties. I've got that turned off. And this is if you have these extras, or if you're subscribed to the SmartRace programming, you might have these weather penalties and damages. We're not going to use them, just because we're just showing the concepts of the championship feature. Okay, all right. So we've got the right track selected. We can do a timed race, or we can do a lapped race. So we're just going to do a lapped race. Let's just go to 5. We'll do 5 laps for every race. Now once you set these parameters, you don't probably want to change anything for all the other races, because of course it wouldn't make sense to compare a 6-lap race to a 2-lap race. It just doesn't make sense. So we're going to go into start race. As soon as we do this, it should take us to the other screen. It does give us this confirmation that resetting the fuel tanks to 100% only work if the control unit is not blocked. So if all 5 red, if these 5 red LEDs are on, you press the escape button and then confirm this message. Well, they're not on, so we'll just confirm it. And it takes us to the race start screen. And we're going to go start. That's going to lock it in. And we're going to go, and we're going to do the 5-lap race. I am going to just be driving not very well, because I'm going to use 2 hands, and I'm going to go slow because I don't want these cars to fly off the table. And I've been having a problem with my DTM cars. A lot of the cars have shrunk, the tires have shrunk, and are not aligned to the wheels, so I've got to do some major tuning here. But let's go. Okay. Okay, again, I'm just going to go here. So Area 51 is the black car, and Boone's is the yellow car. Alright, so that's the race. It is completed. So as you can see, and I have no favoritism in this game at all, but the Boone slot car, so the yellow car won the race, okay, which is the BMW. And okay, so the next thing is, as soon as the championship's done, you have some options. You can press back to free practice and just ignore the results. You can go repeat, which is, let's say there was a glitch in the race, you want to start it again. Or you can go to add to championship, and that's what we'll do. When it adds to the championship, it's going to ask you which type of championship do you want. And you can have multiple championships running at the same time. So we're just going to go test oval. That's the championship that we're doing, and we're going to confirm. Now, excuse me. As soon as we confirm this, we can now have a look at what happened in that race. So we can see that Boone came in first here. This shows us the history of the laps. The star here means it's a leader. Pink means it's the best time. Green is a personal best. There's very slow laps. It'll also tell you if you've done a pit stop here. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but you can also go to the statistics for the race. It's got slow laps, it's got fast laps, it's got leading laps, and it's got the position of the cars at every point in the race. And lastly, a ticker, which is kind of cool. It shows you a time, it's basically a timestamp of everything that happened in the race here. So these things are pretty cool. When you're here, you can share it to different platforms. You can upload it to the SmartRace kind of website. So maybe your club can see the results if you want. We're not going to do that for this. We'll just go back. All right. So that's that here. So we have locked in that event. And now if we go to the drivers, we'll see here that there's only been 2 races run. So Boone has 10 points, and Area 51 has 6 points. So that is, we don't have teams here. The results the results will show you a history of all the races that you've run. Okay, so that's done. So let's go to the list of races, because we've got lots of races that we want to complete today. Okay, so the next race is going to be Conquest, and Conquest is going to be on the red controller. So again, I can't lock anything in, so I'm going to hit escape here. And I'm going to put that on. Oops. Now, I don't know what happened there. I somehow got out of SmartRace. Hoping everything works here. What is going on with my... Interesting. I'm not sure, you know, another kind of glitch in the matrix, but that's okay. Alright, we're going to go back to championships. Hopefully everything's still there. Alright. Alright, so second race we want Conquest. I'll just make sure that Conquest is on this. Okay, and next the garage of slot cars is going to be, oh, I programmed this one and this one. I've got the parameters of each race that as soon as the one person crosses the finish line, that all right, so we've got Conquest on the orange, which is kind of the red controller, and we've got Garage on the yellow. Okay, so we've got these two. So the next thing, I'm just going to do a quick check with speed. You want to make sure all your cars are kind of programmed properly. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to apply the assignments. Okay, again, I'm going to let that kind of save. Let's just go back and have a quick look. So we want to check here. We know it should be these two cars. Let's just go to the controller assignments and have a quick look. So the Conquest Racing is on the should be on the red Audi. So we want to kind of make sure that that's set up here. And it is, see, it's the red Audi. And the garage of slot cars is on the yellow BMW. So that's good. I don't have to save anything. I don't have to change anything. Go back to championships. Go back to the test oval. All right. So we've got the assignments already done. Let's start the race. Again, we don't want to change anything on this screen. If you change things, you probably have to start your championship again. Otherwise, it won't be fair. Okay. All right, we'll get that confirmation again. And we'll start. This is race 2 of 10, I believe. So again, there's no favoritism here. I am not ambidextrous. So these are the results. Let's save those results to the championship. Again, you're going to choose the right championship if you got multiple things here. I'm going to confirm that. Again, it's going to have your race thing. If you go to the drivers, you should see 4 stats, 2 winners, 2 losers. Of this, and again, second place gets you 6 points, first place gets you 10. So now we can go back to the list of races and see that there's a check mark on the races that we've completed. All right, we have 6 races total, so let's immediately launch into the next one. I should have changed the settings so that I can drive the cars back to the line, but so be it. All right, our next race, we have Boone's with the orange Audi. So we'll code that. And we have Area 51 with the yellow BMW. All right. Next thing we want to do is just quickly make sure that your settings for your brake and your speed are locked into those cars, because sometimes things glitch, so it's a good idea to do that. So Boone is on orange, Area 51 is on yellow. We'll apply the assignments. Okay, let's go back. Again, I just want to show you how that, we're going to go back to the main menu, controller assignments. So Boone's was again the orange, and Area 51 should have been the yellow. Okay, we're good. I don't need to save it, I don't need to change anything. But see, the applied assignments kind of locks in what we're trying to do. think we're ready to start our third race. Okay, again, we don't want to change anything there. Let's go. Yellow seems to be glitching a bit. Alright. This time Area 51 won. Alright. And again, we can go back to free practice. We can repeat it, but we'll add this to the championship. Again, you have to choose your correct championship. I'm going to confirm that. You can see that we've done 3 races now. So let's just quickly go into the other 2. We're not going to confirm anything else this time. We're just going to go through. So race 4, we got garage of slot cars on the red controller. Gotta hit escape here. And we're going to code that car. And Conquest is on the black Audi. Just quickly check that again. Okay, so it's these 2 cars. And again, you would go through and just check your brake, your fuel, and your settings to make sure the cars are balanced. We'll apply the assignments. I won't verify it this time because it should be correct. We've kind of gone through it a couple times. Start. But remember, the key is you have to program the controllers correctly to the car or the person, and you also have to apply the assignments right. But you can't go back and forth to the main menu to check things. If you change the apply assignments, or you want to just verify some things the first time you go through. Okay, let's race. Excuse my bald head. There we go. That is gone. So let's have a quick look. We'll save this to the championship. Confirm it. We've done 4 of the races. Now we could go to drivers and have a quick look. Area 51. It seems like everybody's kind of locked in at 16 points so far. All right, let's go to race 5. Race 5, we got Area 51 on the orange, so let's hit escape here on the pink. Let's quickly code our car. And Boone is going to be on the other Audi. And we're going to check all of our settings. I always check the settings and then you do fuel as well. I just do it, it's just a good precaution. We're going to apply the assignments. I'm going to start race. Let's go. Another race completed. We're going to add it to the championship, and let's complete the next race right away. Okay, we'll confirm that. Let's go to the list of races. Should be on our last race. And this time Garage of Slot Cars is on the red controller. Escape. Code that. Conquest is on the black controller. put both cars on. Again, you'd apply your settings. I'm pretty confident that the settings haven't glitched here. But there we go. We are going to apply the assignments. That's important to do. And we're going to start our race. Let's go. We're not going to change anything on the race parameters. Gee, I'm trying to keep everything kind of balanced, and I'm just... Alright. Okay, so we finished the final event, so let's go to the add to the championships. Alright. We'll confirm that. And as soon as we confirm that, it's now going to the final thing. So it's showing that Boone has won. I think he wins because he had twice he had the fastest time in two different races, and the rest didn't. So it doesn't matter who won the race, but anyways, that's a sample of the exchange mode. And if you go to list of races now, you'll see that everything is completed. So we want to go back there. We can now have a look at the final standings here, and we can also go back into the overall race. Results here shows you kind of the different tracks. So that's the first kind of thing that we can do. So let's add another thing, but instead we're going to change this time. Instead of the exchange now, we're going to drive controllers. So we're going to do this a little bit different. So we're going to use maybe fewer people on this one. So serial race, we're going to go. So we're just going to be driving the controllers. So the cars don't matter, the people don't matter. So you'd want to do this if you have different driver stations, or let's say you've got only 3 controllers to use and you got a whole bunch of people, and you want everybody to have a chance at every controller. Okay, so that's, again, you can do by assignment or by order. We'll just do it in order here. Again, you can change your point structure. This time, however, let's award one extra point. Actually, let's award 2 extra points for pole position. Okay. And this is called a serial race, so let's just go test serial race. Okay, now the next thing that it's asking us for is who's going to participate. Alright, so we did Conquest, we did Garage Slot Cars, so we'll just keep going in order. Let's say we'll do Greg Gaub, I think is his last name, of Worldwide Slot Car Chat. We'll do Home Racing World, that's Harry Wise, and you guys probably know them, but we'll also do Indy Slot Car. I don't know if you're aware of Indy Slot Car. I mostly do digital Carrera races. This is the HO Indy Slot Car. They've been in operation for 30 years. They have a YouTube channel. These guys have had a championship for 30 years, and they're hilarious. They got about 15-minute clips of every single race that they run, and they have different personalities from the Indy world, and I just think it's really, really cool. Let's keep going. Let's add another. Actually, let's add. You know what? We'll just add these 3 here. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to be racing each controller, but let's say we've only got 2 controllers. Let's actually use controller 2 and 4 this time. Okay, and how often should each driver race each controller? We'll just put once. You can also add a photo of your event if you want to do that as well. Okay, and you can add some comments if you want. So we've just got 3 things here, so let's save this. Now, I'm going to show you something really important here. So here's the generation. Now, let's say, and you'll have a list of races here, okay? So each person has to drive each controller. We've only got 2 controllers, so there's only going to have to be 3 races for this event. Now, let's say you didn't like the, let's say you forgot a parameter. Let's say you wanted to go back and you had to change something of it. You can do that by going into here and then hitting edit. But if you change anything in this, like let's say I gave too many points for pole position. Maybe I'm going to give 3 points for pole position. If you change anything at all here and you save it, you have to, when you go into the list of races, regenerate it. Just do a regenerate. It'll make sure that the settings that you've moved it to will record correctly. If you don't do that, they may have been locked in from what you had it before. Okay, so let's put these controllers away, and we're only using controllers 2 and 4. Okay, and because we care only about the controllers, we can just have 2. We don't need all these cars here. We can have just the same 2 cars running. Okay, so let's do that. This turquoise AMG is kind of, the wheels are almost falling off it, so I'm going to hit escape just to clear the control unit. Okay, so what we want to do, it doesn't matter here. So if people had their own car, you could code that car. Like let's say everybody brought their own car. You'd have to reprogram that car each time. So let's say that you can do that. So I'm getting flustered here. We'll do actually, let's do this here. We've only got the 2 controllers. Let's say we've only got 2 cars in the race here. So I'm going to do this here. So we'll code the BMW to that track. And so it's the same kind of procedure as before, but we'll do kind of the greeny turquoise. So it's always going to be these 2 cars racing. But again, you could code everything just like we did in the previous example. All right, so we want to apply the assignments. Now, Greg is on controller 1, and we know that controller 2, the yellow controller. But let's go in here and let's just quickly have a look and see what the controller assignments currently are showing. Okay, so it didn't clear the previous event. Okay, so that is something that we want to do here is, I think, before you start a new event, I think you want to keep the controllers, make sure that all of the controllers are cleared out in the controller assignments here. Okay, I'm going to save this. Okay, and we're going to go back to championship mode. And go into the list of races again. Okay, and okay, so we know that the yellow car is assigned to the yellow and the green is assigned to that, but let's apply the assignments again. And let's just go back and let's just have a quick look. Close. Go back to controller assignments. This time it should be set up. Yellow should be on the, Greg should be on the yellow, and we go like that. We'll just select a controller, sorry. So if you want to match the car, you can, in this screen, when you come into here, Home Racing World is going to be on the Mercedes AMG. I think it's at the top here. Alright, so now we've saved that. Okay, so let's go back into the championship. So now the cars are aligned. So they're aligned not only in the hardware of the SmartRace, of Carrera system, but they're also aligned now in the SmartRace system. Okay, let's go to the list of races, and let's start this race. Okay, and again, we'll just run 5 laps again. Now you'll see the wheels spin something fierce on this Mercedes because the tires, the stock Carrera tires, are just, I don't know if you can see it all, like the spinning is crazy. Okay, so we're going to save these to the championships. Now, we're going to have a quick look at the point structure. This is the serial race that we're testing. So we're going to confirm that. That should save the race. Again, we can check the race results here. Let's go into drivers here. So again, the point structure is 10 and 6. So no points have been awarded for the pole. I'm assuming the pole will be the fastest time overall. I'm hoping that's what it is, but we'll test that here. Okay, first race is done. Let's go to the second race. Remember, every person has to race each controller once, so each person is racing twice. Okay, obviously. Okay, next race is Indy Slot Car is going to be on the yellow controller. And you know what, we'll just keep this here. We'll keep that there. And we'll keep this, this other car here. Again, if you had your own car, you would do that. You would set up this stuff here. Let's just go in. So Indy's on yellow. Okay, so let's go back. Let's just quickly look here. Alright, Indy Slot Car. So it should just be Indy and Greg here. And Indy Slot Car, doesn't have a car assigned, so let's assign that a car. And then Greg, we want that Mercedes attached here. Again, you would only do this if you need to, you know, if you're looking at stats. Okay, now, when you go back in here, you don't want to hit apply assignments again, because if you do, it'll drop the car, it'll drop the other stuff that you've done. Okay, let's go. Let's start the race. Again, you don't want to change the parameters. So again, we're going to save this to the championship. And we want to do the serial race. Alright, let's go over here. Notice nobody's been awarded any bonus points yet for having the pole. And I'm pretty sure it's because we wanted that to do it at the very end here. I'm just going to quickly grab this car. Escape. Again, we're just going to be using these same two cars. So Home Racing World's going to be on the 2, and Indy's going to be on the 4. We'll apply the assignments. And let's just set up the cars correctly now. Again, we're going to go back to the main menu. Go to controller assignments. Okay, and Home Racing World is on the yellow car. So again, in this kind of race, it doesn't care about the car. If you want it to show up with the right car, you kind of got to go in, because it's assuming that maybe you're using the same cars. Oh, what happened here? Oh, Indy Slot Car is there. And we want Indy Slot Car. Well, I'm not able to. There we go. Alright, now let's go back into championships. Let's go back into our serial race test. This will be the third and last race. And again, we could also check our speed and stuff right now, as long as the control unit's open like that. You want to do that before you start the race. It is. Alright, so that ends the race. Indy Slot Car won here. Again, there's no winners in racing, like Harry would say. As long as we're having fun, that's all that matters. Alright, here's showing the championship. Notice that it didn't award points for pole. So I'm not really sure what that does. But I know when you go into the information here, The points for fastest lap, that definitely works. That works when each race, the fastest lap in that race, it'll gain a point. We can show that on the next one. Okay, so again, it shows that we've completed all the races. Here's the results of each individual thing. The information shows type of race and stuff that it was, and here is the drivers. Okay, so that's an example of the serial race. So let's go in, and we're going to try the party mode next. So let's go test party mode. Now I had another one, so I'm going to just use this. Okay, this time we will. Oh, for some reason it didn't show it on the screen here. So we'll go to party mode. So here's the party mode. We'll use classic. This time we will give a bonus point in every race, and the number of races, just put 1 for now, okay? And I'll show you why. Okay, so it gave me an error. And it's saying at least 1 required field wasn't there. So, alright, we're gonna have a party. I'm not good with, okay. So let's go here. Next we're gonna go to Johnny Schaefer. We're gonna go to Johnny Hobby. We're gonna have a party here. So we're gonna have Massimo from MP Slot Car Space. We're gonna have Monster Hobbies. There's the NorCal racing scene. We'll do Slot Car Mayhem. We'll do Slot Car News. And we'll do Marty at 2 lines. Alright, so we've got all these people here, and what have we done here? We have, so in party mode, it doesn't care about your controllers. All it cares is about how many people you have participating. And now the next thing we're going to do is save, and it's probably going to give us an error. It's going to say the number of races for the added number of drivers must be at least 28 or any double of it. So the calculation is going to tell you how many races it's going to do. So we'll just take out off Slot Car Mayhem, and let's try saving it. It's saying now it has to be 21. Okay, let's take off Dave Kennedy Slot Car News, so there's fewer people in the party, and now we need 15. Okay, so you see that it's telling you in party mode how many races you have to put this to, because it's going to be variable. We have 6 participants right now. So we'll just we'll take off 2 lines here. Let's take a look here. We're down to 10. And let's go. System. Let's go. We'll take off. Oh, it's not working. I can't drag it over. Why not? We'll take off Monster Hobbies. If you aren't familiar with Monster Hobbies, quick note on them. When I got back into slot cars, they had it was a hobby shop in between Calgary and Edmonton in Alberta, Canada, and he'd set up a race every Thursday or second Thursday, and there's this race where they did a NASCAR oval, and they were using some of the classic Daytona, NASCAR style cars from the 50s, 60s. And I watched that, and I got hooked. And then I watched Indy Slot Car Channel and got hooked, and just kind of went from there. And I'm like back into slot cars all of a sudden. And I raced when I was a kid with my dad. He got one of those big Tyco sets that filled up a ping pong table. It actually was an oversized ping pong table, and filled it up. And I remember, we'd have all the kids over from the neighborhood, and we'd be racing slot cars all night and all afternoon. And my parents and their family and members and friends would be racing slot cars, so it was pretty cool. And that's why I kind of went back when I saw all this digital stuff. I was like, wow, I've got to get back into this. Okay, so let's see here now. We now need 6 races. We'll just go there for the people that. All right, so we got some participants. So sorry if you're not racing here. I'm just again trying to show stuff here. Okay, so we got the party mode. And so it's head-to-head races, and let's see the list of races here. I'm going to just show you a few things quickly here on this. So here's the drivers. We've got 4 drivers. NorCal racing scene is in California. I think they're in Northern California. And just a really good guy. MP Slot Cars from Toronto. I believe he's in Toronto. His name's Massimo. Johnny Hobby. They got 2 nicknames, and just drawing a blank because it's pretty late here when I'm recording this, but just a great channel. And John Schaefer's just a good guy, you know, just mostly using Carrera stuff. I think he's kind of branching into more stuff, but I just really enjoy. There's so many channels. Like I didn't put any German channels here, and there's like Slot Racing and Slot R, and there's like just so many others that I could have added, but I just kind of ran out of time. Let's go to the list of races. Okay, when you're in the party mode, the races never, you can't do the controller assignment. So you have to go, you have to do this, you probably are going to be running, like everybody can be running their own car, but you have to assign it manually, okay? And this is the same with the normal mode. You would run the race how you need to. So I'm going to kind of go through here. All we know right now is that John Schaefer is going to be Johnny Hobby. They don't care which controller they use. We set that up manually, okay? So John Schaefer is going to be versus Johnny Hobby. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to go to back. But the races have to go in that order. So let's go back. We're going to go close this. We're going to go back to the controller assignment page. Alright. So we're going to select a controller. We'll just use the green and we'll use the green and red ones again here. Sorry, not the green and red, the green and red. Okay. So we know that it's Johnny Hobby. Oh boy. Right? I think it was Johnny Hobby versus, was it Schaefer? Oh man. Schaefer will be on yellow. Green will be Johnny Hobby. Alright. Now you could add the cars here again. So why don't we do that? We'll do Schaefer on. And again, I don't mean any favoritism or anything to anybody here. I'm just, thanks for checking this out. Sorry, the tutorial's gone way longer than I was expecting it to. That's okay. Alright. So now what we have to do is we have to go in a new race. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to go, instead of 5 laps, I'm going to change this. I'm going to use this because it's a heck of a lot easier. Let's go to 3 laps. I'm going to show you something here. If you go to 3 laps, notice I'm trying to change the weather, and it gives you this error. Please set a number of 20 laps minimum or 5 minutes for the race. It doesn't let you, I can't change it. I can't do anything with it because I'm set up for 3 laps right now. If that happens and you get this error, here's what you do. You go back, just change this. Change it to the minimum requirement that's set on that error. Then you can go back into the weather, and now you, 5 minutes or 20, sorry, I gotta do 20 laps. Sorry, I didn't change it to enough laps. Let's just change this to time, maybe. Time. Okay, so just go past the threshold on that error screen, and you can change the parameters then. Okay, but if you get locked out on it, that's kind of what you need to do. So I'm gonna go up and just change this to, we'll just do 1 minute races here. Okay. Actually, that's probably too long. Let's go back to laps, just so I can get through this in relative fast order. We'll just go to 3 laps. Okay, again, there's other settings like carryover fuel and stuff, weather, penalties, and damage. We don't want to do that. I'm going to start the race. Let's go. We've got 2 cars. And I've been rambling, so I don't remember who's who, but we can just text that. Okay, so Schaefer's on the yellow, Johnny Hobby's on the green. Alright, so that is done. We're going to add it to the championship. So it's Johnny Hobby and John Schaefer. So Schaefer was yellow. Let's just take here. Let's go to the list of races. Hopefully I had that right. Yeah, Schaefer versus Johnny Hobby. So next we're going to do Johnny Hobby versus the NorCal Racing team. So again, we're going to go back and Johnny was on controller, on the green controller. So let's just leave Johnny on the green controller and NorCal can be on the yellow controller. Okay, so let's Johnny and NorCal. I'm going to go to the controller assignments. Okay. So it's not going to be John, it's going to be NorCal. NorCal's on yellow and Johnny is already on the green. So let's save that. Go back to championships. Go to list of races. Oh, okay. So that's the one we're going to run. And I want to add a new championship. We got to go to new race here. Okay, and let's go. I'm not even going to test. So again, you could test. Hit escape there before you hit start race if you wanted to test the speeds and stuff. Alright, the race is on. Alright. Alright, so we'll save this race. Now, if we take a look at the points on party mode, we should see, let's go to drivers, we should see a bonus point. It looks like Johnny Hobby's been the fastest here. So they've got 2 bonus points because in each race they had 2 points and it kind of shows the extra in brackets there. Okay, so that's important. Okay, so next we're going to go Johnny Hobby versus MP slot car space. So let's go back. Johnny will stay on the same controller. Let's go back here to the assignments. And MP is going to have to be, so Johnny Hobby will be green, and instead of NorCal, we're going to make MP slot car space here. There we go. We'll save that. Again, you would change the car too. I'm not too worried about the cars here. We'll go to new race. Again, we don't want to change any of the settings. They should have saved automatically from before. Let's save it. Let's get going. Thanks for staying with me here this whole time. Let's work that out. Johnny's just been racking up the wins here. Salami and I can't, it's not coming to me, but that's okay. They're pretty hilarious. Okay, next we got John Schaefer versus NorCal. So John we're going to put on yellow, NorCal will put on green. Okay. So Schaefer on yellow, NorCal green. My brain, it's pretty late right now. It's past midnight and I'm recording this. I tried earlier today and just nothing was working. So I said Schaefer is going to be on yellow. Oops, we don't want that. Again, we could change the car, and NorCal was going to be on green, not Johnny Hobby. Again, you can change the car how you need to. Not worried about the car, we're only worried about the controller head-to-head. Okay, let's go. New race. Start it up. Confirm. start. Alright, sorry about that. My battery keeps overheating on these GoPros. Okay, I'm not sure if I added that to the championship. So we'll just do that. Alright. Alright, yeah, that was John versus NorCal. Okay, so John is going to stay on the same controller and MP is going to be on the other one. So John on the same, MP the other. Okay, and then John was on yellow and MP will go on the green. Alright, save that up. Let's go to new race. And start her off. And start. That was a close one. All right, we'll add this to the championship. Party mode, done. All right, list of races. This is the final race. So we got MP will keep and NorCal is on the other one. Okay. MP will stay on green, and NorCal will go to yellow. Alright, we'll save that off. Let's go to new race. This will be the final race of the championship. I guess one. All right, let's go to add to championship. Now let's say, no, that race had to be redone. Something happened. Who knows what happened? I don't know. Somebody slipped on the track and it had to be reset. Okay, no problem. We can repeat it. Let's do it. That shouldn't have saved, so we'll just check to see what happened. That's now official. Add to the championship. As soon as I add it, it should give us our final results. Okay, so here's the thing, so it gives us bonus points for the fastest lap in each race. Okay, so again, information there, teams, there was none, results is a copy of each, and remember you can go into each of these, you can download it as a CSV, and you could also upload it or share it, and again you have the tickers and everything. This is saved automatically under the general setting. Okay, so that works. Again, the last type of race that can happen is the normal race, and again that's just where you've got all the races planned out, you know exactly what you want to do. You don't want SmartRace generating the list of races, you're going to handle it, and that's when you use normal. There's probably a whole bunch of stuff that I missed, so I want to thank all of these other great YouTube channels for joining my races. If you have questions about SmartRace, I think that either Conquest or Two Lines, Marty or Rahul is gonna do, they might try to get Mark Bonzel, I think that's how I say his last name, the designer of SmartRace. I think they're gonna try to get him on one of their live live evenings. It's usually Monday or Tuesday night. Conquest is usually Monday night, and Marty is usually on Tuesday night, and Greg Gaub is on Wednesday night, and Harry is always posting something, Harry Wise, and Monster Hobbies is kind of doing more of their just car kits now, because they've sold their retail space. Yeah, and there's just so many great channels. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I know I've been rambling about other channels here, but they're great, and you should definitely subscribe to all of them. And thank you, Mark Bonzel, for SmartRace. I think it's awesome. For those who use Bruce Yangling's other system, I think it was called HRRS. That's a great software package too. There's so many great things happening in the slot car world. So this is Celtic Griffon. Hopefully this has helped you with SmartRace championship modes, and good luck in your racing, and feel free to share those videos with me and share your comments as well. Take care.